Hey guys, Julia and Marco here. We are at the beautiful Summit Park doing another DORA walk. Marco, you are not in frame and I don't know how to work this thing, so we're gonna have fun with this. We're gonna talk about a couple things. We're gonna talk about my Josh's trip to the GlendAlehouse Brewing.
GlendAlehouse.
We're gonna talk a little bit about 50 West Brewpub closing again, and then Marco, what are you gonna talk about?
Two things.
First,
right off the rip, congratulations to a great craft beer friend of Cincinnati and my trivia host,
yes,
Elijah Moreland, and his wife on the birth of their new baby.
Second child. Congratulations,
Congratulations.
Elijah. Cheers to you guys.
Cheers to you both.
We drink to you guys.
Elijah, I know you're taking this week off from trivia and next week, which you should.
Yes.
But that's about enough. That's about enough. Because you know what? Trivia.
Not the same without you.
It's not the same without you. But congratulations to you and your family on the birth of the new child.
Heck yeah.
And so I understand why you didn't name it Marco or Josh. I completely get it.
I mean,
or Julia.
That could be
or
Julian. I mean, that's,
Juliet.
you had options.
You had options.
You picked none of them.
You picked none of them. But congratulations to you. The second thing that I want to cover, we can go over it at the end. I think it's something that is end of the, video type thing. So we're here. It's a beautiful night. So
it is fantastic.
Yesterday morning, when I got in the car, there was ice. There was frost on the car where you went to open the door and it crackled because you were separating the ice. Today, high of 77.
Fantastic.
Wonderful day to be out here walking at Summit Park. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk around and then we're going to stop at some point and then we're going to talk about Cincinnati craft beer topics.
Yes.
And so
the topics that we mentioned at the beginning of this.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
And so we are here right in the heart where I can see Tahona and ice cream and Nanny Bells and Brown Dog and all of that. So we're gonna
wonderful stuff.
Wonderful stuff. And there's really cool stuff that's gonna happen at Summit Park here in the
I like having the tower behind us, not gonna lie.
In the fall and the winter.
Yes.
So everyone get on to social media, check out Summit
City
Park,
of Blue Ash,
City of Blue Ash Summit Park, and just know what's going on because there's activities here
all the freaking time.
All the time. So,
right.
Julie, you ready to walk?
Let's do this.
Let's go. All right. So this is a fire pit. We're passing a beautiful fire pit that is not lit yet. I would imagine that's going to be lit here soon with the way the weather's going. They have these wonderful poles that are up with bistro lights hanging from them, which is probably indicative or a sign of
that the ice rink is coming.
Yeah, ice rink is coming back.
Yes. And then we have, as always, the absolutely beautiful, phenomenal, wonderful tower. All right. Let's keep walking.
Just passing the very sexy
party game.
AED
as you would know, like to say, the party game. Although that one's not blinking. I don't know what that means.
It did just blink.
Oh, did it?
Just blinked. Yeah, that means
I just wasn't looking at it.
That means that it lost on the staring contest. Look, for anybody, we're coming up to a water fountain. I just want to let everyone know. You've got a bottle station at the water fountain, and you've got a traditional, sip from the water fountain. Look, I'm just here to say, go ahead and do it. Sip from the water fountain. You're fine. It's going to be fine.
We drank from the hoses as children, and we turned out all right.
We've found a way to keep listeria out of our water. So just go ahead and have it.
Not wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit while we're walking, and then we'll stop and kind of swap the camera around and we talk about certain other things. 50 West Brewporium, or not Brewporium, I'm sorry, the Brewpub is closing again.
Yeah.
And I say again because they shut down during COVID, a little bit before COVID for renovations. Then COVID hit. And then they're like, we don't know if we're gonna keep doing this. So the place was closed for quite a while. Then they reopened. The brew pub was back. Back. Everyone was happy. It was glorious. And then they just announced today that after the Brewers Brunch that we talk about in Cincy Beer Events.
Go and follow Cincy Beer Events, by the way, everyone.
All about, believe it or not, Cincy Beer Events.
Crazy.
That's going to be their final event, their final thing. Once that is done, it's going to be closed, and it is only going to be like private event space.
Yeah.
Which is very similar to what Braxton did, Braxton Cincinnati, formerly 3 Points. With 3 Points, I had some decent beers from there. Trying to avoid recording the families in case you're wondering what the hell I'm doing with the camera. But yeah, so Braxton Cincinnati was a tap room, and then they closed kind of without a lot of notice, a lot of warning, saying that they weren't sure what was going on. And then they reopened as mostly an event space, but with a tap room out front still for the day-to-day. With 50 West and the brew pub, I don't think they're going to have any way that you can go to that location unless you have a private event scheduled there. That's what I took from the social media post.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way I read the post as well. I mean, if we're wrong, certainly let us know. But it basically said we're shutting down unless you want to have a private event at that space. And it sounds like they own the space, which if
Correct.
They do, that if you're not going to have it open for everyday, tap room consumption, that sort of thing.
That is a horse of a dog, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, God. But that kick you off a bar stool.
That absolutely would kick me off of the bar stool.
But it
was a wonderful dog, by the way.
Yes.
Just saying.
But yeah, it sounds like it's event only. So you're going to have to contact them. It is disappointing in the sense of, a lot of us are very nostalgic for the space and, for some of the feeling for the space, but it's
it is what it
unfortunately, it's a sign of the times. I'm going to talk about that.
Not selling it like Mad Tree is 1.0. It no longer belongs to Mad Tree, or they're completely getting rid of it.
Well, I don't think they ever owned it.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong. I think a big thing with Mad Tree 1.0 was, did they want to renew the lease?
Gotcha. Very possible. Check out the Great Lawn.
Yes.
Here at Blue Ash
Great
Summit
Lawn.
Park.
This is where everybody puts out their chairs and then has a mosh pit to listen to Loretta Lynn.
It's phenomenal.
For the Red, White, and Blue Ash.
Do we want to stop here and record with the lights behind us to talk about Gravel Road and stuff, since it's getting kind of dark?
Sure. All right.
We are, as you can see in front of the tower, the lights around the Great Lawn just came on. Perfect timing. It knew that we needed to record some stuff. Marco, I was going to talk about Gravel Road. Josh and I stripped to Gravel Road. You had something that you were going to talk about.
Did you go to Gravel Road?
Or not Gravel Road, I'm sorry. GlendAlehouse.
We did go to Gravel Road.
We did go to Gravel Road. We can talk about that too.
All of us. We went to Gravel Road a few weeks ago with the Gnarly Gnome. But
the thing has a shadow on your face, Marco, and I don't like that, but I don't know how to make it better. If you lean forward, we don't know what we're doing. We're trying. There we go. Yeah, get right up into the camera there. Get right up.
So
terrifying.
I do. Zane Lamprey. So like every picture he takes is like.
So let's talk briefly about our trip to Gravel Road, because they are having their official grand opening.
Sure.
November 17th, I believe, if I'm recalling correctly.
Maybe.
Old Rolling Mills, in the Old Rolling Mills location up in Middletown.
Yeah.
We had a great time going up there.
It was fun.
The beers, we tried each of the 5 or 6 beers that they had on tap.
Yep.
And You could kind of taste, was the first, this was the second. You could kind of taste the progression of
you could taste
how they were
progression,
doing.
for sure.
And I think it's going to be fantastic. They just posted that they did some fresh painting. I don't know if they've covered up all of the old Rolling Mill stuff, but that was a lot of fun. But my Josh and I, what I meant to talk about was Josh and I went to GlendAlehouse. GlendAlehouse. And they're soft opening this past Friday.
Yeah.
They are, whenever I manage to post this video, they're going to be open officially fall through winter, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. They had 6 beers on tap. The chai beer was phenomenal. The chai beer mixed with their amber, which they called their China Cat because of the names of the 2 beers. Phenomenal. Absolutely fantastic. Okay. There were some issues with some of the carbonation with some of their beers. Some had like 3 feet of head. Others didn't really have much carbonation, but they were actively working on the lines while we were there. It's a new brewery. They're still figuring out all of the little tips and tricks to their equipment. But I think that place is going to be fantastic. When you walk in the door, instead of saying, hey, welcome here, they say, welcome home. You are literally walking into someone's home that they transitioned into a brewery. So that's really
that's cool. Not a joke. That's the truth.
It's not a joke.
That is their house.
They live upstairs. It's so cool. You walk in, it's a shotgun house. So you look through the front door, you can see right out the back door, which instead of looking out into the backyard, you look into where their wood-fired pizzas are being made. But you walk in and immediately to your right is like the living room, and it has upholstered chairs. There are bookshelves with books all over the wall, a super warm, cozy feeling space. You go straight and you're in what I'm assuming used to be the kitchen, and that's where the bar is. That's where the taps are. That's where Josh and I sat. And wonderful, wonderful space. Count how many doors are in that room. That's a little trivia for you there.
Nice.
They have 2 other side rooms that have longer tables and benches in them for like bigger groups to sit at and enjoy. It was a great time. We literally left minutes before the Brews Travelers showed up. That may or may not have been by design. We may have known that they were on the way.
Okay.
We didn't know. I feel so bad that we missed them by literal minutes.
Well, but that also means if you would have caught them, you would have been there for a long.
Yes.
I mean, because it's one of those things, right? You catch up with unexpectedly with buddies, friends.
Exactly.
Well, now
your entire night is gone.
But that's fun. It's fun, and it's part of the circle, right? I mean, for all of you that are watching, and for all of the craft beer podcast community, I mean, for us to run into each other just by chance is a great time.
Right.
Julie, if you had to guess, what do you think the inside capacity would be? I mean, because it seems like very fun, very quaint, and it seems like they did make space for people, but it also seems like capacity
I would
maybe
say
like a
50 max, maybe like it's smaller than a Fibonacci.
Okay.
As far as,
Fibonacci.
I don't know that it might be able to fit
indoor
more
space.
Indoor.
Fibonacci is very small.
Yeah, so indoor they probably can put more people than Fibonacci. You add the outdoor space, Fibonacci can probably hold more than the Glendale House can. But it's just different space. There aren't as many tables outside at GlendAlehouse as there are Fibonacci, but
no goats.
It's great. No goats, but it's fantastic.
There's a UDF next door.
There is a UDF next door, directly next door. You can. The beer was good. I think it's just going to get better.
We got an evil corgi about to approach.
Goodness. Beer was good. The beer is probably going to keep getting better as they get more and more used to the system, as they get the carbonation issues fixed. But absolutely worth going, and I highly recommend checking them out. If not now, give it 2-3 months, 4 months, whatever you tend to give your new breweries. Well worth a trip. Yeah. So, Marco, what did you want to talk about on this DORA walk? Even though we're sitting.
So.
Ooh. Yeah. It's the cork you want to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, geez. This is a big subject. I think it actually correlates to the 50 West closing, the the old speakeasy that they used to be in. I know that everyone has felt an economic pinch for 3 years now, since 2020 when, you know, you
Everything shut
couldn't
down,
get toilet paper to, you know, all this other stuff. Furniture took, you know, 10 months to get. But now it's really just hit every facet of everything.
Right.
But what that means is that the places that you have locally that are open and operating, as far as, it doesn't matter if it's a bar, it doesn't matter, restaurant, brewery, you know, whatever it is, if it's an entertainment in any sort of way, if it's anything other than a utility, house payment, rent, car payment, if it's anything outside of those, I mean, obviously, you know, credit card payments, whatever those things are.
Sure.
If it's
the things
anything
that you have to pay, or there will be repercussions.
Right. If it's anything outside of that, all of the participation and experience in those things is down. Now, if you like a space, whatever it is, I mean, hell, your membership to a car wash is not necessary.
True.
If you actually go down to the numbers. But they employ people. All these places employ people. All these places are actually probably trending down versus LY, probably trending down because of the dollar having to pay for the things that are most important. Getting outside of your house and having fun experiences now is being more calculated than ever in the past 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah,
go out,
a decade even.
Probably so. Go out and support the places that you like, and it doesn't have to be for hello.
Oh my goodness! Hello. We have a horse that is stepping in. I can tell. Hello. That would be funny. I would have laughed.
Oh my
goodness. What's their name?
Gibson.
Hi, Gibson.
Hi, Gibson.
You are beautiful.
You
do the same.
You as well.
We got a visit from a horse dog.
That's
my God,
awesome.
Beautiful. I love it.
So, but what's happening is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your place sells beer. It doesn't matter if your space is bar that has anything, craft spirits, beer. If it has, you know, seltzer, it doesn't matter what it is. People are actually spending money outside of their house less.
Agreed.
And I get it. I totally get it. But when you have the opportunity, if you're financially able to, please go and support those businesses that you love and want to see around over this tough financial period. And not that any period isn't financially tough. Every dollar is hard earned. But go and support the places that you want to see around.
I agree.
It's so important because they employ people, whether it's their first job, primary job, full-time job, second job, third job, it doesn't matter.
They have that job for a reason.
Exactly. And so it's not anything that's new. You're not finding this out from me. It's tough across the board for anything that is not an essential. So please go and support these places. And yes, places are going to close. Maybe that space at 50 West, the best course for it, since it sounds like they own the space, shut it down, make an event only. Great. Events are great. Support them.
Go to them.
Support them in that way. Book an event, have an event, do those things.
That's why we shut up the events on Cincy Beer events. We want to make sure that the breweries that are probably paying more to have these events than they're making from the events, that people go there, and while they're there, they buy a beer or two to kind of help offset some of those costs. Yeah,
it's important. So please go and do that.
Yeah.
And you know, but there's going to be some waves, some ripples, you know, but it's not doom and gloom. But what it is though, it's This is a understanding. This is an understanding, heartfelt call to action in the sense of, look, we know that you're buying beer and drinking it at home. Mm-hmm. We know that you're buying a bottle of booze and drinking it at home. Buy that bottle of booze from a local distillery. Buy that beer from a local place. Get your growler filled again. Mm-hmm. You know, growlers went away for a period of time. Get your howler filled. Get a growler filled. You know, support that place. Go and get, if they serve pretzels, to go get your pretzels to go. Get a beer while you wait, and then, you know, go on to shop for your groceries and make your dinner at home. Yeah. It means a lot. Show up to the events that they're having. Get a beer. You don't, I mean, if you can't stay there for 2-3 hours while the whole thing's, you know, going on and do a session like you used to do, you know, back that's before fine. COVID, yeah. That's fine. But still show up and support them. Yeah. Still show up and support them. It's so important. Agree. You know, the not just craft beer, but the service industry is begging to have your business and spend your dollar where you want to see your places around again. That's basically it. And that's really all I wanted to talk about. We know it's tough. Holiday season is coming up. You know, buying a bottle of booze for somebody is a gift from the local distillery. Buying a 6-pack of beer that they like is a great gift. Getting a gift card from a local establishment is great. Fantastic. Yeah. Hosting your party. If you typically have a party at your house, why not have a party? Book a party at one of these places. You don't have to clean your house. Mm-hmm. You don't have to clean your house. You don't have to provide the glassware. You don't have to clean up. Many times you don't have to provide the food. You know, if you just want to say, hey, I'd love to get together with my friends, have it here. You know, if you tell everyone, look, everyone who shows up, I got your first beer. You don't have to cook at home. Maybe after the first beer, everyone's on their own tab. You know, think of ways to support your local places, and, you know, just support your local places. Just support your local places, and know that we understand. We're feeling the same thing. You know, we're feeling the same thing. I went to Kroger the other day, and I wanted to buy just 2 chicken breasts for a very small meal. If I went to the counter, it was $3.99 per pound for a chicken breast. If I got it out of the cooler or the whatever, it was $1.99 a pound, but the smallest package I could find was 6 pounds. Yeah. Fine. You got me. I'll buy the 6-pound package. But what I did was avoid the counter, which is a personal interaction. And so if you need that person less and less and less, then that's a job that can be eliminated. And so I worry. I do, because going to a seafood counter or going to a meat counter, you know, maybe they're not the most knowledgeable person at a Kroger, but at least what I'm doing is getting somebody the option to give me some sort of personal service. Yeah. Agreed. So anyway, that's it. I'm sitting down so I don't have to get off a soapbox, which, by the way, I might be the same height sitting down or standing up. You don't know. No, you don't. What do you say we go ahead and finish our drinks, finish our DORA walk, and thank you guys for hanging out with us. Cheers. Cheers.